Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the European Super League. When the modern-day movers and shakers dream up their future for 21st century football, this is what they have in mind. Old Trafford, one of Europe's five-star stadia, packed to the rafters, and two of the continent's great past champions fighting for their Champions League lives and reputations, not to mention a few £100,000. Many are called, few are chosen. Only 8 teams will reappear in the spring quarter-finals. The others will return to the winter grind of trying to qualify for next season's Champions League. There'll be some hard luck stories to tell around Europe tonight. Some of the unlucky ones, maybe like Arsenal, will put this year's efforts down to experience, but Bayern Munich and Manchester United expect to be in the last 8. Both were last season, maybe both will survive tonight, but what they clearly share is an historic tradition in Europe's Premier Club competition. They both want to get their hands on the European Cup again. Bayern have been waiting for more than 20 years, United over 30 years. I suppose few of those players will remember the sight of the giant trophy being hoisted by Franz Beckenbauer or by Bobby Charlton, but they are both here this evening, senior statesmen at their famous clubs, and also constant reminders of the standards required at these famous clubs. Let's meet those players. Alex Ferguson fields his first choice Manchester United team. No disputing that. Every senior professional bar David May is available to him. An unprecedented luxury. Just one change from the lineup that thrilled 12 million of you in Barcelona a fortnight ago. Ryan Giggs is fit to resume in place of Jesper Blomqvist. Ron?
Yes, and I think Ryan Giggs and David Beckham are very much the key players. I'd like to see them play a little bit narrower than they have been playing in recent games, and try and enable Keane and Scholes to dominate midfield in the early stages.
Bayern Munich are also close to maximum strength. Mehmet Scholl is injured. Mario Basler upset his coach with his attitude in training here last night, but all their other stars are there. 11 full internationals, 10 current internationals. Stefan Effenberg is the only exception, and only because he's refusing to play for Germany these days.
Yeah, and since these two teams last met, you know, the number 9 Alba has established himself in the Brazilian side, has scored goals in place of Ronaldo, and I think he will be an exceptional player on the break. United will have to really focus on him when they're attacking themselves.
Referee tonight is a Dutchman. He's Dick Jol. There are 3 players in the Manchester United starting lineup on 1 yellow card: Dennis Irwin, Roy Keane and Paul Scholes. It's been a lovely day in Manchester. Ryan Giggs, who didn't play in Munich, over a month out of the side with a broken bone in his left foot, has figured in the last 3 Manchester United games. Back in harness tonight. The pitch here was relayed just 12 days ago. It's played just 1 match on it so far. And is not as good as it was at the start of the season, that's for sure. Big night for Peter Schmeichel. His late error in Munich, he has been reminded of over and over again in the last few days. And a big night for everybody fortunate enough to get a ticket to be here. It's England against Germany, the Ashes series of European football. It's former champion against former champion. 2 of the continent's executive clubs, both with their tradition and expectation of success. And it's man against man, a test of the players' nerve and fibre as much as their talent. What a test of this young man's nerve tonight. Wes Brown, playing only his 9th match in the Manchester United starting lineup. Andy Cole trying to team up with Dwight York straight away. Marcus Babbel coming between them. Clearance by Thomas Strunz, cut out by Gary Neville. Cole is underneath it. Babbel climbs higher. Yellow is down to Effenberg. Forward by Mateus. Over the head of Dennis Irwin. Please don't concede an early goal. That was the heartfelt plea of Alex Ferguson to his players tonight. They were down on the canvas in round one of their heavyweight encounters with Dortmund here last year, with Juventus and Monaco last season. They've taken early knockdowns in Munich and Barcelona again this season. They don't want to be fighting their way out of a corner tonight. They can't afford to be. Roy Keane.
Yes, just looking at the number 10, Lothar Matthäus, one of the world's greats. We fully expected him to play maybe behind the two markers at the back. At the moment, he's occupying a front screening position in midfield, and it's vitally important that United don't give him time and space to operate on the ball.
Certainly in Bayern Munich's last match against Brøndby 2 weeks ago, they were pretty ineffective in the first half with Matthäus playing as a sweeper, but he moved up into midfield for the second half and had an immediate impact on the game, creating both of the Bayern goals that night. Remember, they've beaten Barcelona twice and Brøndby since we last saw them in the Olympic Stadium against Manchester United.
Yeah, he's got to get in that funny little position, Matthäus, which he's got to play behind Jeremas and Effenberg, and it's going to be very awkward unless one of the wide midfield players, as I say, possibly Beckham, pulls in narrow and helps both Scholes and Keane.
Alex Ferguson could just be forgiven if he turns round for a quiet chat with Brian Kidd at some stage this evening.
They'll get locked up for that.
Tonto has gone, and it's the Lone Ranger on duty for now. But this is his club, and the European Cup is his crusade, and he really doesn't need anyone to hold his hand anymore. Brown feeding York, allowed to turn by Kufur and turn into Matthäus. Salihamidzic under pressure on the edge of his own penalty area. Brown has caught Effenberg and conceded a free kick. Jimmy Ryan is the man alongside Alex Ferguson this evening, who actually played for Manchester United in the successful European Cup campaign of 1968. He was in the quarter-final side against Gornik Zabrze, alongside the likes of George Best and Bobby Charlton, retaining that European Cup link which Brian Kidd gave Manchester United. Ryan Giggs, Dwight York, Roy Keane, David Beckham, through the legs of Salihamidzic, now taking Effenberg on. He's found Keane. Beckham has gone on to his right. Keane instead looks for York, dealt with by Babel, who's had a commanding start for Bayern Munich.
Nice and slick though, that was encouraging for United. Some great first-time passing, just didn't produce a final ball.
Jeremas to Sturms. Elber has pulled out on the right-hand side. Crossed in towards the tall figure of Zickler, who was unmarked, but quite guide his header as he wanted. Lisa Razou has seized upon the ball. Now Effenberg. Salihamidzic. Taking on Brown. And the ball was knocked against the young Bosnian international for a Manchester United goal kick by Wes Brown. Rocking atmosphere inside Old Trafford tonight. Beyond Matthäus, intercepted by Keane. Miscontrolled by David Beckham.
You know, that's one of the fascinating things about a game like this. You know, you get, I've mentioned about Beckham maybe pulling a bit narrower, enabling perhaps Scholes to push on to Matthäus. But in effect doing that, you know, Clive, it leaves a lot of space for somebody down the left-hand side. Lizarazu, as we know, is a great attacking fullback. At the moment, Lizarazu's just going to sit in, but as the game develops, he'll charge forward, particularly if Bayern are looking to catch the game up.
Down to Beckham. It's a swift ball played inside for Scholes. Now Cole on the edge of the penalty area. He's fed Dwight York here. His first touch for once let him down. Chance of a counter led by Zickler. He's very, very pacey as Yat Stam is finding out. Stam is no slouch either. Good contest there. Well won by Yat Stam. Beckham. Giggs has broken down the centre, got inside Strunz. Chance here for Andy Cole. Great block, Dwight York! Cole had the better chance. Great defending by the two Bayern Munich defenders in front of him. York felt that he had to hit it first time.
This was a magnificent ball from Beckham. He drills that right across. Giggs gets inside the last defender. He sets Cole up. Good blocking. Unlucky with the second shot. You have to say at this level, that's a good chance. But, as you say, full marks to the German defenders blocking. But he looked a bit tentative there, Andy Cole, as he went onto it.
It was Babel and Strunz who managed to erect that grey wall in front of Andy Cole as it came to him on his unfavoured left foot. And his finish was a bit straightforward, really.
Yeah, he did look positive when he received it. But I tell you the encouraging thing about that, whether Mateus is going to play in front of the two markers or behind them, the diagonal ball, when it's played to that perfection, eliminates defenders. That was a phenomenal ball from Beckham.
I dare say Giggs can play it to Beckham too. This is Neville, forward towards York. Well, he's been penalised. Ottmar Hitzfeld is the man in charge of Bayern Munich, and of course was the man who won here with Borussia Dortmund en route to their surprise victory over Juventus in the final of 1997. And Liverpool's Karl-Heinz Ried was actually standing about 10 paces away from me here. Scored the 2 goals in Munich, which were decisive on the night. Hitzfeld now bidding to become only the second man to coach 2 different clubs to European Cup success. Mateus in towards Elber. Dealt with by Stamp. Kept in by Giggs, I should say. Held up by Strunz. When Elber saw that pass from Keane to Irwin, but the ball did go out of play.
I think Roy Keane's had a tendency to do that in recent games, when he comes out on his left-hand side to try and turn back onto his right foot, and very often he's playing square balls or playing back into his own central defensive areas.
Won by Strunz for Elber. Neville made the challenge. Effenberg. Stam in the way that time. Now Scholes. Cole.
That's important.
Pulled out to the left-hand
That's so
side.
important. All right, they've got an understanding, a little bit of telepathy between the two strikers, but it's important they play some solid stuff as well, not just give the ball away needlessly up front.
Salihamidzic spotted a run from the back from Lothar Matthäus. Well, it's a long way back when you're 37 years of age. He did make 1 or 2 errors in the first game at the Olympic Stadium.
Oh, yeah, I think at his stage of the game, I mean, he presented that goal, didn't he, when Beckham won it back. But I think at his stage, if he's any sort of pressurisation, I think he'll go under. But if he's given time and space, there won't be a better player in the world at exploiting it.
Mateus back towards his own goal, and here's Andy Cole trying to sneak away from Kufur, who only just got there. That was a loose one from Mateus.
That'll have raised a few alarm bells as well in the Munich defence. I mean, we know Kufur is quick, and the way Cole got past him, it'll frighten them a little bit.
Babel emerging with the ball. Now Salihamidzic to his left, Elber just in front of him. Zickler is in the attack too, and Effenberg now. Salihamidzic is on the ball. Still in a yard here on Wes Brown. Corner kick.
Certainly I've seen enough to suggest that as the season's progressed, this Munich side, and that's what we're worried about when United should really have killed them off out there. This Munich side has far more purpose about it than it had in the home leg.
Kufur has come forward for the back, as indeed as Marcus Babel. which Stefan Effenberg will take. Dealt with by Dwight York in front of the near post. Lizrazu. Circumnavigated Giggs. Salimitic is onside here. 3 waiting in the centre. Dealt with by Wes Brown. Now Jeremis. This is Mateus. It probably went closer to the corner flag than it did to the goal. No emotion on the face of Lothar Matthäus, so always gives you the impression that he's gracing us with his presence and that everybody around him is maybe not quite fit to be sharing the same field with him. You look at his record, he has a point. Foul by Zickler on Stamp. Manchester United trying to come forward in a measured and purposeful way. Owen looking for Giggs, tidied up by Kuffour. Offside against Zickler. I know, Ron, you're a great believer that they're at their best when they're playing at a tempo and they have some momentum, but they've got to be careful tonight.
Yeah, I think at the moment, I think they've been outnumbered in midfield. I think the way United have played over the last few weeks, it's ever so difficult for Keane and Scholes, particularly when Scholes normally likes to run forward, and he's having to sit in. I mean, that's a lovely little ball down the side for Coles.
Coles' cross was deflected, which made it awkward for Oliver Kahn. It came off the boot of Sami Kuffour.
Almost a carbon copy of the goal against Villa, wasn't it? The ball fired across and a parry out.
Jeremis. Zickler. Jeremis this time to Marcus Babbel. It's a pretty meaty strike by a man who Manchester United tried to sign 2 years ago after Euro 96, actually agreed a £5 million transfer fee, but couldn't agree Marcus Babbel's wages, which I think were in the same kind of region. Those demands were. Cole to Irwin. Owen has found York. Quite drift away from Effenberg. The element is cleared. Gary Neville calmly down to Roy Keane. This is Stamp. York. Now Beckham picking up the baton. David Beckham curled it. Kahn wasn't quite sure what to do with it. Almost put his hands up in front of his face for self-preservation, but just punched it away. It really could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, but that's encouraging from Beckham. Picks it up, sees the space ahead of him, and pumps one in and tests the keeper. I mean, the keeper must have wondered where that one was going to finish up. As you say, unorthodox goalkeeping, to say the least, that.
This is Zickler. Beckham managed just to toe that away from Zickler as he tried to break forward. More than a toe behind the shot, though, which troubled Kahn. Getting out to the quarter arm mark. Andy Cole has had one clear chance for Manchester United. Stamp. Up towards Cole. Too long for him. Dealt with by Kuffour. This is Giggs. He's beaten Stumps. Crossed in towards York. Well, Babbel did enough in front of him to make it difficult for Dwight York to direct his header.
But that's the sort of thing we're looking from Giggs, and he picks it up, gets at the back of Struns, produces a ball. This is the shot from Beckham coming in. It'll be dipping and swerving, that's for sure. Keeper could have headed it away, really. Might have made a mess of his face, but there's the one now. Good deep cross. And York just can't get over it. I thought at one stage he was just going to guide that into the roof.
been an absorbing opening quarter of an hour. We've been used to explosive football from Manchester United in this Champions League campaign.
At the moment, you know, they're having less ball possession than they've probably had in any game. I mean, that's because the German side, Munich, that's because they're very, very good at movement, very good at spreading the ball about. And look at that, that's excellent play to get this fella in.
Lizarazu in towards Elbert. Well, he stole a march on Gary Neville, couldn't quite direct his header. Neville did recover and make it difficult for Elbert, who needed to be courageous, but who had a side of goal.
Should have scored. Great ball in there from Lizarazu. He's got across Neville, and a player, he's got a good contact on the ball. When he's headed that, he will have thought he scored. That's a ladder for United, that's a lovely ball play between people. Lizarazu picks his ball to the near post. Good movement, bad finish.
I have seen tape recordings of all Bayern Munich's games in this Champions League group. There's a lot of debate about Andy Cole's goals for chances ratio. I tell you what, Elbert misses a lot of chances too, but he is Bayern Munich's leading goal scorer.
The best striker I've ever worked with in my life always said you have to miss chances to score. I think that's always been the case.
Yanamis tipped in towards Zickler. He just managed to sneak away from Irwin then, and if his control had been better, he would have had a clear chance.
I mean, that's good movement. He's coming from a wide position. As you say, his first touch wasn't great. Just a little bit concerned. You would have expected Gary Neville, really, the second centre-back, should be hanging on to that position.
Clash of heads there between Zickler and Irwin. Referee quick to stop playing. Who was the best striker you ever worked with, incidentally?
It's a lad named Tony Brown, Der Bomber.
Well, I'm a bit younger than you.
350 appearances, 350 goals or something from 7. I tell you what, that takes some doing.
That hurt.
And he was a Man U fan.
I think that hurt Dennis Irwin a bit more than it did Alexander Zickler.
I think he'd be a bit concerned, Alex. His team hasn't really been able to dominate the early proceedings, have they? They've had good moments and they've played well in possession, but they haven't had as much possession as they would have liked.
May I just take this opportunity to say how strange it is for all of us on the big match to be here at such a big match without Bob Wilson. Bob, you know that you and your family are in our thoughts at the moment, and in those of many, many viewers tonight too. Zickler has the cut on the top of the head. Dennis Irwin took the impact on the front of his head. Dennis Irwin, by way of a little statistical landmark tonight, is making his 41st European appearance for Manchester United, and now only Bobby Charlton and Billy Fowkes have played more European games for the club, which, apart from anything else, gives you some idea of how successful this current Manchester United team have been in European football. They played a lot of it in the last few years, but who knows, this may be the last we see of Dennis Irwin this evening. Alex Ferguson has 7 substitutes available to him this evening. He may use 3 of them. Philip Neville would be the most obvious replacement for Irwin if he is unable to return because of that facial injury. Zickler is still off the field too. It's 10 against 10 for the moment. Keane to Cole. Beckham. It's a little long for Cole. Babel got it away. Keane down to Scholes. And ball by Babel. Jumped up in front of him. Quickly taken. It's Giggs. Mateus coming across to cover. Giggs just overran the ball.
Yeah, I like to see free kicks taken quickly and brightly. I just wonder at this stage of the game whether that was in a range where maybe they should have just said, hey, let's see if Beckham can frighten them. We've read where they're frightened. They're a bit worried about David Beckham's free kicks. I just wonder whether that's an opportunity they maybe should have taken there.
It's like Dennis Irwin is going to soldier on. Alexander Zickler has already returned. Cole. Held off Yelemis and found Beckham. Scholes. Point link up with Keane, knew he was there. Effenberg. Asked an awful lot of Zickler. Schmeichel was able to protect the ball well enough for it to roll out of play for a goal kick. He seems to have hurt himself in the process. Dennis Owen is ready to resume. I always thought there was only one Father Christmas, you know. Cole. This is Giggs. Strunz is getting plenty of help against Giggs from either Effenberg or from Mateus. Giggs just helped that into Cole. Back towards York, who forwards quickly upon him. Salihamidzic caught in possession by Brown. This is Beckham. Fouled by Lisa Azu. Now this is very much in Beckham, or maybe better, Giggs territory, because it's right of the goal as Manchester United look at it. It was Salihamidzic who put Bayern Munich in trouble. It's Lisa Azu who conceded the free kick. Stam is forward from the back.
It's also the type of area, you know, if they are going to dip it, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have a shot here, that the people in the box are ready for the parries. We've seen what Khan can do when they blast the ball. He tends to parry. I think it's important to have players following in here.
David Beckham has scored free kick goals against both Barcelona and Brøndby already in the competition. Into the Bayern Munich wall that time. Cole trying to let that run for York. It's come out as far as Yelemis. Now Strunz. Looking for Zickler in behind Irwin, who looks to be restored to full health. Can't believe that he's escaped that challenge without a fracture to his nose, but apparently Manchester United are happy that he hasn't broken his nose. No stitches necessary for Alexander Zickler on the back of his head. We're into the second quarter of the match, which is simmering at the moment. There's an offside flag here against Beckham.
Just think at the moment United had helped the cause a little bit more if Andy Cole and Dwight York were a little bit sharper with the touch. They tried one or two little things, like you said, when Andy Cole's just tried to dummy a ball. I think they've got to be a little bit more solid with the ball, make sure they retain it a bit. They'll give the midfield players and the wingers, or the wide midfield players, a chance to push up to join them.
Here is Cole. Now Keane. Looking for Owen to make a move to his left, instead comes right to Dwight York. Now Scholes. Keane rolled into Giggs. That's a clever touch. It's Cole on the turn. Oh, it was a whisker away. That's the closest that Manchester United have come so far. Andy Cole almost providing the breakthrough.
What about that? What a touch there from Giggs. And when Cole swung that round, I thought the element of surprise might have done the keeper, because you think for all the world he's going to go and try and curl it around the keeper's left arm. Drags it across him, keeper's wrong-footed. Narrowly wide of the post, but a magnificent piece of play from Giggs.
Albert forward towards Salihamidzic. Bayern lost the lead in the German Championship race for the first time this season at the weekend, but only on goal difference. Not only do they have a game in hand on Leverkusen, the new leaders, they have a game to come against Leverkusen in Munich on Sunday. Already League Cup winners in Germany, already FA Cup semi-finalists in Germany. Bayern Munich remain the team to beat in Germany. So many comparisons between these two clubs.
Yeah, we'll look at we talk about squads, we talk about United having a big squad and people like that. I'm just looking through the list of players on the Bayern bench, players that aren't playing, and you see some very big German names.
Cole, in towards Giggs, just couldn't quite grow enough. He was taken a little bit by surprise. Strunz doesn't know that York's there. Behind you. Ryan Giggs. Deep towards Cole. Babel did just enough. Beckham is there. Scholes has found a way to the box. Effenberg did just enough. Cole trying to resurrect the move. Lisa Azou emerges with the ball for Bayern Munich. Elber. Beckham called him up and tripped him. Both Marcus Babel and Sami Kuffour are coming forward from the back for Bayern Munich here. Effenberg takes it towards Ziegler, and it came off Roy Keane and went for a corner, and that was about as much as Keane could do, facing into a gaping goal.
I'll tell you what, Ziegler's actually headed that onto Keane, hasn't he? I'm sure Ziegler was connected with that,
He looked favourite to score for a moment, didn't he?
I'm trying to wonder why he didn't score, and I actually think he's headed that onto Keane.
Effenberg will now take a corner for the right-hand side. Plenty going on in there. It's pulled back towards Yeremis, but Scholes is upon him very quickly. He did well to get any kind of shot away. Manchester United have a goal kick. Jens Yeremis, who is described by Franz Beckenbauer as Germany's discovery of the last World Cup finals. There wasn't too much for the Germans to cheer for once. He had already agreed a move from the other Munich team 1860 during the summer, prior to the World Cup finals. He's a very versatile and energetic player. Strunz. Back to Babel. Back to Kahn, who is now established as Germany's #1 choice in goal. Here is Yeremis. Saw Strunz in space and picked him out nicely. 3 others forward, and the linesman on the near side signalling handball against Strunz. This is Beckham, waiting for Brown to arrive at his shoulder. Taking on Lisa Azou, who's probably the best left back in the world, but Wes Brown has no fear of anybody or anything. I'm not sure he got the ball there. He's been penalised.
That's a hell of a test for him, isn't it, Wes Brown?
He won't be 20 till next March.
A handful of league games under his belt, but he is a big, big talent.
He'll be tested again here. It's Salihamidzic trying to roll it into Ziegler. Gary Neville got there first. Out as far as Lisa Azou. Salihamidzic. Now Stefan Effenberg. Space for Lothar Matthäus. Jens Yeremis. Matthäus. Straight to Irwin. Straight to Giggs. On to York. Lost a lot of Giggs there, although Matthäus is giving away a few years to Ryan Giggs. Just about got there.
Yeah, those are the sort of runs that will take it out of the Bayern veteran. Ones where he's really got to stretch his lungs. He's quite happy to just stroll around, popping the ball off.
Ball against Salihamidzic this time. There's a rather tense air about Old Trafford at the moment.
I mean, I think Munich are virtually unrecognisable from the side that played out on the home ground. They had little or no positive play going for them, but now they're all at it.
Lisa Azou finding Effenberg. Tried the shot, and Schmeichel seemed to see it a little bit late, but it was bouncing across his body, and he seemed to know where it was going. Effenberg thinks it should be a corner. It's pretty convincing.
But it's a good darting run from Lisa Azou. Plays it wide, Effenberg tries the curl.
Goal kick given. Free kick given against Babel. Foul on York. Beckham takes. Keane making a late run into the penalty area. Dealt with by Strunz, but only as far as Roy Keane. Strunz managed to get to it. There was a half-hearted handball appeal by Roy Keane. Strunz blocked it. Brown turning it back into the danger area where York is offside.
Yeah, it did look suspiciously like as if Roy Keane had sort of handled it, didn't it? I mean, he's run forward, he realises he's not going to get the header, reads the script. Fortunately, it's not a major talking point in the game. Just getting back to the United strikers, you know, I said earlier about they've got to sort of try and retain the ball a little bit more. They've also got to start making more channel runs. They're making it life a little bit easier. They're playing right in front of the two German markers, Babel and Kufor, and you think sometimes they've got it, and they're good at it normally, they've got to make a few runs and try and stretch the German defence.
Here's of Dwight York's former team. The current Premiership leaders, Aston Villa, are trailing by 0-0 at Stamford Bridge in a Premiership match this evening. Gianfranco Zola has scored that goal for Chelsea, who started the evening in 6th place, but could end it in 3rd. Scholes. To Beckham. Into Cole, trying to turn away from Kufor, which managed to wide the challenge at least. Hung up towards Ryan Giggs. Manchester United certainly had the better opportunities so far.
This is unlucky. Does very, very well Andy Cole. Sees the challenge off and from nowhere digs it up. It's a great pity really Giggs hadn't held his wide position and came in on a run. Can't get any pace on the header.
Lothar Matthäus has come to the near side and is requiring some treatment to a hip injury. He is off the field for the moment and in some pain too. He has been struggling with a thigh problem for the last couple of months, Matthäus. Keane to Giggs. He actually was fined by the club when he was out of action because he was spotted skiing in Switzerland when he should have been resting his thigh injury. He's a bit of a law unto himself, but the same can be said of one or two of these Bayern players. They have some big personalities, shall we say, amongst their ranks. Beckham. In towards Giggs, dealt with by Strunz. Manchester United have a corner, pumping up the volume inside Old Trafford.
That is very, very important as well. The crowd can play. We always talk about crowds playing a big part. The one thing that Bayern Munich mustn't do tonight from United's point of view is kill the crowd noise.
Stam is forward, Brown is forward. Beckham takes. Khan collects. Matthäus still in trouble. Just on the subject of his skiing escapades in Switzerland, he's been in trouble with the Swiss tax authorities recently too, who threatened to take his Swiss skiing chalet off him. He didn't pay up. He has paid. Just down the road from yours, isn't it, Ron? Oh, the corner. Matthäus is back with us. Stam and Brown are forward again. Manchester United building up some pressure here. Giggs takes. Cleared by Effenberg. Zickler is receiving some treatment now too off the field. Bayern Munich are in the wars. This is Dennis Irwin. Gary Neville. High in towards Wes Brown. Not quite control the header for Andy Cole.
I think you saw a little bit of a tactic there though. Try and load any high balls if you can onto the small Lizarazu.
David Beckham. Ryan Giggs. Tackled cleanly by Matthäus. Incidentally, Aston Villa, the Premiership leaders, have now equalised at Stamford Bridge through Lee Hendry. Chelsea 1, Aston Villa 1. A later score in the Premiership tonight. We will start to keep you in touch with the scores from elsewhere in the Champions League during the second half of this evening's game. It is a pretty complicated equation, but of course a point may just be enough for Manchester United this evening. Zickler, Strums into the near post where Salihamidzic has found some space, trying to turn it back to Effenberg. It was Beckham who came between them. Corner kick to Bayern Munich.
That was a brilliant run there from Salihamidzic though. Darted across the near post, ball played in early, just couldn't deal with it, and as you said, Beckham did just enough to put them off.
Manchester United's turn to worry about a corner kick. Effenberg takes, Babel is there, under pressure though from Stam, couldn't direct his header. Irwin clear. Cole, oh that's beautiful for Scholes. York is making a break to his left. It's Dwight York on the ball. Giggs is inside of him. This is York, this is Giggs, or it would have been but for Jeremy's fantastic break by Manchester United.
Yeah, super break this. Great little layoff. Scholes plays York in. Now you're thinking then York, you go and open your legs, get the last man, take him back into the box. He's aware of Giggs coming inside him. I'm just wondering whether he should have had a go at the last man there. The worst he's going to get is a free kick.
Beckham's corner. Khan holds on again under pressure from Stump. Remember Peter Schmeichel's goalkeeping error in the closing moments in Munich. We sometimes forget the save that Oliver Kahn made after that from Teddy Sheringham. Manchester United still nearly won that match. Terrific stop it was. No goals so far tonight, though. Manchester United have looked marginally the more likely. York to Irwin. Keane. Giggs is there, so too though is Strunz. Now Yelemis. Effenberg. This is Salihamidzic. A run between Brown and Beckham. No free kick given. Salihamidzic is known to make the most of challenges on him. Beckham towards Cole.
That's a better run though. He's stretched the defenders, he's made them work at him, he's taken the game back about 30 yards.
Cole away from Babel, deflected, and Cole did really well at the near post.
That was much better than Andy Cole. Ran towards their goal, desperately looking, drove at the defender. Got the deflection.
Oh, no.
It's off the pitch, isn't it?
It's a divot. I wondered who it had hit.
It's a bit personal, isn't it? I thought it was a German defender.
Salihamidzic. Through to Yelemis. Strunz is making a run to his right. Giggs has to come back with him. Foul by Giggs. Thomas Strunz taking Ryan Giggs back almost to his own dead ball line.
Yeah, and you always say to your winger, if he's as good a player as Giggs, you say, hey, if you don't have to do that, son, you've got to make him defend. You've got to make Strunz defend a bit. But there's so many, I think there's so many fascinating sort of contests going on all over the pitch.
5 minutes of the first half remaining. Stefan Effenberg with the free kick for Bayern Munich. Strunz at the near post. Schmeichel was a pace or so away from his near post, but I think it was ever heading in.
Yeah, he got plenty to do there, Strunz. Comfortable defending. I should think they're quite happy to have seen them play that free kick short of the near post. Just thinking, I can't remember once in the course of the game, and I know these circumstances and the tactics dictate that, seeing Paul Scholes in the other penalty box yet, apart from a set play. You know, I mean, he's got to play that holding position where we all know he's better when he's got the license to sort of get in behind the front two. Very often, if you look through United this season, a lot of things emanate from when he does get into that penalty box area.
Stump. This is Keane. Crossed in towards Cole. Couldn't quite direct his header under pressure. It is a goal kick.
You know, the only way he's going to be able to do that, actually, though, is if, say, Beckham or Giggs come into field a little bit and enable him to be the spare midfield player from time to time.
It is a classic clash of wills tonight, though. Manchester United comfortably the leading scorers in the Champions League, comfortably the leading scorers in the Premiership. Bayern boast the best defensive record in the Bundesliga. They've conceded just one goal in their last 3 matches in Europe. 2 of those games against Barcelona, who do like an attack. So far, the defensive element has just held sway. This is York. Keane. Now Irwin. Giggs. Jabbed back behind Dennis Irwin, and Aramis saw enough of it. Keane to Irwin. Cross towards York, a little long for him. Beckham will give chase. Salihamidzic is over there, and the free kick is Bayern Munich.
That's 2 or 3 crosses have gone in from either side when we've had no United players sort of making up the ground in the back areas. I think basically the wide midfield players or somebody from those positions should just hold the run a little bit more for the overhit one.
Brown's header has found Beckham. Into Giggs with some space here. Ball run across him, and it's forced him rather wide. Giggs taking on Struns, turn him. Rolled back now, it's Roy Keane! It's 1-0! Invaluable strike from the Manchester United captain. They lead with 2 minutes of the first half remaining, and the quarter-finals start to move onto the horizon.
Look at the credit Giggs has got. Perhaps should have taken the Beckham's pass easier. He's got closed down. He's kept his head, instead of just throwing it aimlessly. Sees Keane appearing on the edge of the box, picks him with a spotter's badge, and that is no way that's coming back. That is a great strike from the edge of the box. Keeper unsighted, still hasn't seen it.
Well, when Roy Keane returned to the Manchester United fold at the start of this season after injury, they said it was like signing a new world-class player. He only played in 1 European game last season. The season before, he missed the exit here against Ottmar Hitzfeld's Borussia Dortmund, and that influence has been missed in all quarters. But he doesn't score as many as he used to do, but few more valuable in the Manchester United cause than that one.
You know, and rightly so, we're extolling the sort of praise and virtues of the United goal. I'll bet when they get in, Lizarazu, who you described as possibly the best fullback in the world, I'll bet he gets his backside kick for the error when he gave away the ball needlessly to Beckham.
There has been talk of Roy Keane moving back into the Manchester United defence, but he has said, that is too boring. I want to be where the action is.
I'm actually one of those that have said it, but I think it's more to enable Jaap Stam to settle down a bit.
Here's Ziegler chasing a pass from Struns, which will bounce through to Peter Schmeichel. Manchester United have just got to do nothing wrong for the next couple of minutes. They will be so happy to go in here with an advantage.
The word Alex Ferguson has used, you know, all through this European campaign, the word he's used most has been concentration. And if we think back to some of the performances, when United, a couple of minutes left of this half, when United have dominated the first halves, and second half have been caught cold, I'll bet that dressing room is don't get caught cold. If they want nothing at half-time, make sure we don't let them back into the game straight away. That's a magic boost for United now.
Here is the goal scorer. Forward to Dwight York. Throw into Bayern Munich.
It's amazing, isn't it? If Giggs had controlled his first touch from Beckham's pass, he may well have flashed it wide.
Scholes on the ball. Irwin to Neville. Now Keane. Cole under the ball, beat to it by Kufor. Salihamidzic. fine. Lisa Rizou, the free kick had already been given in his favour. First of 2 added minutes played at the end of this first half. You'll have noted the time, don't worry. Hitzfeld composing his thoughts. He does tend to rotate his players rather in the fashion of Chelsea the last couple of years. He has such a massive pool available to him, and he does have some options on the bench, as Ron was saying. Amongst them, the huge centre-forward Carsten Janker, who's broken into the German national picture this season. The defeat for Bayern Munich would leave them sweating on other results this evening. Elber. Crossed in towards Zickler. Half-time. So far, so good for Manchester United. A goal by the beating pulse of the Manchester United team. The skipper and leader in every sense, Roy Keane, blasting home from 25 yards to give Manchester United the advantage with just 2 minutes of the first half remaining. They are in pole position to progress to the last 8. 45 minutes away from their third successive quarter-finals. Don't go away.
How bad is the nose injury for Owen?
Well, he's got a bit of concussion also, feeling a bit queasy really. So there was no way we could risk him.
What was your assessment of the first half?
I thought it was a very good game. Bayern have played their part in it, and we've had good goal threat. Ryan and the two strikers have created a lot of great openings for themselves. And if we just keep our discipline now and keep putting the ball forward, I think we can do it.
The Germans will have to come more at you now, even more at you.
Well, it's okay.
Yep, good. Yeah. Okay, hang on there then. Thank you.
Ronnie Johnson has actually moved straight into Dennis Irwin's position at left back, with Gary Neville remaining alongside Jaap Stam at the heart of the Manchester United defence. Johnson made his comeback at Tottenham last week in the Worthington Cup after just 25 minutes of football in the previous 3 months through injury. He was Jaap Stam's original partner at the start of the season, and now back on the European stage as a makeshift left back for the injured Dennis Irwin.
I'm a little bit surprised at that. I thought he might have switched Gary Neville to left back, but I just wonder whether he's been given the responsibility of going out there, playing fairly narrow, and sort of going man for man almost against Zickler, who's coming off that side of the pitch.
Free kick to Manchester United. And if they can just pick up where they left off at the end of the first half, then it's not template. Beckham with the free kick. Johnson is forward, almost reached it too. It's nicked away from him by Stefan Effenberg. It will be a corner kick to Manchester United.
That was a big header from Effenberg, you know. Johnson was powering in. I thought that's going to be a golden sort of substitution. But he does give them a big advantage here again, Johnson, in set plays and that. They're a little bit short of height. All of a sudden, they're a lot bigger in there.
Bayern Munich are a very big team. Beckham's corner. Whipped towards Keane beyond the far post. Oh, what a chance for Johnson, and he couldn't take it. He got a second opportunity, but nothing like as good as the first one that came his way. Well, if only that had fallen to Colo York.
I tell you what, he's been on the field. That's brilliant the way there's a suggestion of handball there actually against Ruffo, but that's brilliant the way Keane's kept that in play. And Johnson has had an absolutely, I tell you what, he could have blown that in. And even this is a good chance, you know. He's been on the field a minute and a half, might have had a hat-trick.
Never want to exaggerate, Ron.
Well, 2 then, go on.
They've had to try and get the kick off in between. Yeah, I know what you're saying. The fact is that Manchester United still lead by that Roy Keane goal just before half-time. Effenberg.
And you hope that they've learned from previous matches in Europe where second half they've been caught cold in a lot of them.
Stam's header only as far as Jeremits. Strunz. There's Babel. Very impressive for Bayern Munich, Marcus Babel. This is Sami Kufur. This is Bayern Bayern Munich's first competitive visit to Old Trafford. They had never actually won on English soil until Jurgen Klinsmann and company trounced Nottingham Forest 3 seasons ago in a UEFA Cup quarter-final. They have gone out of Europe to English clubs more than they've gone through against them. We do have this impression of German invincibility, and let's not forget that England's last success in Europe was at Stuttgart's expense. Chelsea's Captain's Cup triumph in Stockholm in May, although it took an Italian to score the goal. Jeremis. A little push there by Stefan Elbert.
Yeah, that's something Jaap Stam does, you know. He sometimes gets too close to attackers and stumbles into the back of them. He's so obsessed with giving them no space, he sometimes takes too much of it. And we talk about Beckham, you know, this fella can whack him as well, Effenberg. He can hit a free kick as well.
It's very, very central. And always to the kicker's advantage. It's Effenberg. And Schmeichel had everything behind it. It bounced awkwardly in front of him. It was pretty routine for Peter Schmeichel. Let's not forget he was voted Europe's outstanding goalkeeper at the start of this season by the coaches of last year's quarter-finalists in the major European competitions. Scholes, tackled by Effenberg. This is Matthäus. Now Zickler. Running at Johnson, the Manchester United substitute, taking him on, and Giggs has got back there and done, well, initially a good work, but Zickler was running back from him, and Salihamidzic was in there, and Manchester United had a real scare. David Beckham clearing. Babel up above Cole. This is Jeremis. Now Strunz. Well, the chastening experience that for Ryan Giggs, having done a lot of chasing. Gave the ball away very cheaply on the edge of his own penalty area. Effenberg, though, trying to slip it through to Elbert, who just set off in the hope that the ball would come, rather like a relay runner waiting for the baton. Kufur.
I think you'll find if we see that situation again, you know, the part young Wes Brown played in keeping it out. Here's again against Salihamidzic. And I tell you what, he just prevented him getting a full header on that last cross there.
Been penalised. Babel and Kufur are both forward. Effenberg inevitably will provide the delivery. And away is by Keane, equally inevitably. And here goes Andy Cole, and he does have options right and left here. He has Jeremis all over him. Scholes out towards Giggs on the left-hand side, but instead straight to Matthäus.
Yeah, they made him hurry the ball a little bit there. I thought Andy Cole should have been sharper. When he got onto the ball, I thought he should have knocked it off brighter into Yorkie, and the momentum of the move would have kept going. But that's the beauty of the game. I mean, you're seeing Munich come forward in numbers, but you know there's always that threat of Cole, of York, either the wide midfield players, and even Scholes getting up in a support position. You know, from a contest point of view, from, if you like, from the different tactics, it's a fascinating game. Here's that one on top of the little left-back Lizarazu again. Won it this time.
Brown penalised again. Matthäus. Strunz. Put away by Johnson. Scholes to Keane. Forward runners created space for Brown.
That's a brilliant one from York. He pulled short, showed beautifully for
York. Now Keane. This is Beckham. Into the near post towards Dwight York. Just a little bit too close to Oliver Kahn.
I still think Yorkie had read that, you know, and he got a little bit of help from Babel, who just edged him out of the run.
Mark Hitzfeld, the Bayern Munich coach, has actually said that he believes Dwight York could be better for Manchester United than Eric Cantona was. Salihamidzic in towards Elbert. Trying to go through Stam. Brown emerged with the ball. The German Federation wanted him to succeed Bertie Vogts, but he was already committed to Bayern Munich. Giovanni Trapattoni was the coach of the club last year, but all the personalities and clashes sent him round the Autobahn, and he packed it in. And Hitzfeld has brought a little bit more discipline to this very colourful club. They have a free kick, which Effenberg or Yelemis will take. Babel and Kufur are forward again. Effenberg hit the wall, almost came for Babel. Johnson was first to it. Andy Cole trying to lead a counter-attack. Everything's to his right, really. Strums with a terrific challenge, and he's knocked it forward to Zickler. And here goes Kufur. Got his shot away, and Schmeichel made a terrific save. Big moment for Peter Schmeichel. Kept out a very powerful drive by Sami Kufur.
Series of rebounds, a nice little lay into his run. Sami Kufur pressured by Jaap Stam. Just a nice push around the corner from Schmeichel.
Sort of save that I suppose we've come to take for granted from him during his 8 seasons with Manchester United, but it's very important at this moment for him and the club. York let it go at the near post, and Gary Neville had to clear. Not the scare. It's Thomas Strunz now. Picked off this time by Paul Scholes, and United have got men to break, but Strunz has won it back from Scholes. Cole has won it back from Strunz, and here goes Giggs, and Beckham is forward, and Scholes is forward, and Cole is forward. Giggs taking on Mateus, no contest. It's Ryan Giggs. Pull back towards David Beckham. He's beaten Khan to the ball, but he can't keep it in play. It's a goal kick.
I just wonder, I think Giggs may have overrun that, you know. But an exciting break. We've seen a load of pressure from Bayern Munich. All of a sudden we get this break. He leaves. No, he's kept it in, and David Beckham's made a great run across the near post. Just can't hold his touch. Just can't keep the thing in play. But that's the beauty of this game. Munich chasing for an equaliser, pushing forward, knowing full well, and we're well aware that United got some great sort of counter-attacking players.
And it's a game within a larger game happening around Europe tonight. A win takes Manchester United through automatically, but strangely, as things stand, even in defeat, Bayern Munich would qualify for the quarter-finals as things stand, and Ottmar Hitzfeld, their coach, is being kept in touch with developments around Europe. It's a dangerous game to play. I'm not sure I'd want to know.
I think he has to be fair. I think he does have to. He has to, so he can monitor the game to a certain extent. When if a result goes right in Bilbao, in other words, if Galatasaray gets something out of it, he's then got to over-chase the game if necessary.
If. Yeah. Corner kick to Bayern Munich. Effenberg takes. All headed on by Strunz, and they smuggled it in. It's Salihamidzic. Bayern Munich are level. 11 minutes of the second half gone, and the Bosnian Hasan Salihamidzic, who scored their late winner at the Nou Camp, has scored an equaliser here at Old Trafford.
Well, I tell you what, in all fairness, I always have the feeling about United, they are vulnerable on corners. I don't worry about them, but that's just an ordinary ball in. It's kept in the box. Strunz, I think, his head's the thing in there, and there's two of them. I mean, Elbar could have scored that as well. I mean, you needed somebody to come through and just be ruthless and see that off. But I'm afraid sometimes United do have a problem when they're having to defend corners.
And a draw definitely takes Bayern Munich through, and it would be Manchester United then who are hanging on results elsewhere in Europe. Those results are going well for them at the moment, it should be said. But we have still got well over half an hour of this match remaining.
There's only one sure way, isn't it? They've got to go and win it, United. And if then there's no indecision at all about it.
Stefan Effenberg, cut out by Ronnie Johnson.
We might have put the game absolutely beyond Munich just after half-time.
They haven't, and it's 1-1. It's Roy Keane, Manchester United's goal scorer, just before half-time, on the ball. Challenged by Jens Jeremis. You know, the irony is that Salihamidzic shouldn't really be playing here tonight because Originally, Bayern Munich were going to select Mario Basler, but he just showed no appetite for the game during the training session here last night. I was watching him. He is a bit of a moody type, and Otmar Hitzfeld decided to drop him and play Salihamidzic instead. This is Mateus. Now Elber trying to flick it onto Zickler. Stam cut it out. Keane. Beckham. York. Beckham again. Cole is forward too. Giggs is to his left. Giggs with the early cross. Oh, Bubble missed it. Lizarazu didn't. And as far as Ronnie Johnson though, it's Beckham again. Effenberg in the way for Bayern Munich. Here goes Elber. Zickler has made a run ahead of him. He's got Salihamidzic to his left. Elber going alone. Now he's found Alexander Zickler. Got his shot away. Deflected off Stam, and Elber's there. And that's not very far away either.
I'll tell you what, we're talking, the way the game has swung round. A minute ago we were talking about whether Munich would qualify. Now that almost put United out the tournament, hasn't it? I mean, it's got the deflection there of Stam, and I tell you, Elber is a hair's breadth from turning the game right round on its head.
It's 1-1. Keane for Manchester United 2 minutes before half-time. Salihamidzic for Bayern Munich 11 minutes after half-time, and the wind is in their sails at the moment.
I think United have got to somehow or other sort of get cool again. They've been exciting in this little spell. They got caught up in the general frenzy. They're trying to race from one end of the field to the other in the course of it. Maybe giving the ball away a little bit. Maybe they could do with retaining the ball a bit.
The substitute is being ready there is Thomas Linker, who is a defender. And that may signal Hitzfeldt's intentions, or I think it's Lothar Matthäus here on the ball who is the player likely to be substituted. Salihamidzic, the goal scorer. Taking on Brown. Held off Wes Brown, played it back to Lizarazu. Too long for Zickler. Giggs away. Cole won it. Then Babel. Scholes for Keane. It is just worth reminding ourselves at this stage that a draw for Manchester United here this evening will be fine unless both Galatasaray and Rosenborg win their matches tonight. Galatasaray are losing 1-0 in Bilbao. Rosenborg are losing 2-0 in Turin against Juventus. Cole. This is Beckham. Clipped long towards Ronnie Johnson beyond the far post. Giggs is there. Khan makes a punch. Might come here for Paul Scholes now for Manchester United. Deflected out of harm's way and for a corner kick.
I tell you what, remember us talking about first half. First time he's appeared in the box. That was a stick on goal. He's got a deflection.
Half an hour remaining.
But Ronnie Johnson's done very well. The keeper's done exceptionally well there. Trying to just intercept that. Here's Matthäus now. Here's your man.
Lothar Matthäus this evening is over. His replacement is Thomas Linker, who did play against Manchester United in September and has played for the German national team this season. Corner's been taken. Giggs with the header forward. York with the hook volley, and Khan held it. Well, it was a fascinating rather than furious first half, but this is really warming up
This
now.
might be a blow. I've been watching Dwight for a minute or two.
Dwight York is running to the near touchline to receive some treatment. What lies in store for Manchester United and Bayern Munich in the next half hour?
Yeah, just saying, I've been watching Yorkie. He looks to be running a little bit hampered. He's just come over to the bench to see whether pass some information to the physio.
Free kick given against Johnson. It's an ankle problem that York has. He is going to play on for now. Free kick which Effenberg will take. Tossed in towards Zickler. It's got a little bit too much on the header, which squirted over the crossbar. Schmeichel doing a little bit of encouraging work as Nicky Butt prepares himself to come on.
That was another fair chance, by the way, for Sitcom. I mean, he is a big lad and he does thrust his way in there.
Stop. Down to Key. This is Neville. Johnson has made a forward run. Here is Ronnie Johnson. Into Andy Cole. Trying to turn Bubble. Across the face of goal, and Beckham just didn't expect it, didn't gamble on it, and couldn't quite reach it.
Good work from Cole, though. Quick feet in the box. It looks very much. York is coming up, so I mean, it looks as if. I wonder if Paul Scholes is going to play up front. Or just behind the front.
Well, Nicky Butt is going to replace Dwight York, that's for sure.
His options are, of course, Giggs to go up there. The shape of the side would look better if Scholes played just behind the strikers.
Scholes is certainly going to play just in front of Keane and Butt, but I don't think Manchester United are going to get too adventurous in the remaining minutes. They are aware that scores elsewhere are going their way. Draw will do at the moment. Win takes away any worries from elsewhere. Cole got a flick on. Giggs trying to feed off him. Barble got it away. This is Wes Brown. David Beckham, Roy Keane. A little bit of space here for Paul Scholes now. Tried to slide the ball in, Andy Cole just offside. Well, he was maybe just beyond the last defender, but his partnership with Dwight York, this was re-established at the start of October and has produced 16 goals in the last 12 games, has been broken up here by an injury to York. Struntz. Effenberg. Salihamidzic.
Well, Struntz has gone into that central midfield play now. He looks happier in there.
Wasted ball by Effenberg. That is Mario Basler, the player who's actually already involved in a row with the German national team coach Eric Ribbeck over an alleged late poker game before the last international against Holland, who upset his club manager last night. Great run by Scholes. Could go all the way. How many has he gone past? Paul Scholes! Well, he did have Giggs in space, and I think he knows that. But having slalomed his way past about 5 defenders, he just couldn't resist.
This is what I nicknamed him a street player now, and this is what it is. He beats man after man. He's the dribbler in the street, and look at him, man after man. I'm not sure he could have threaded that one into Giggs. I think the defender, Basler or Lynch, was he coming across, probably just closed his view of Giggs. But here's a little bubble once he starts going.
Here is Linker, who's now operating in Struntz's own position on the right-hand side. Zickler let it run. Salihamidzic. Elbows onside here. Stam recovered well. Throw in. It's a rather fraught situation here at Old Trafford. Lisa Razou, whose long throw set up the late equaliser in Munich. Couldn't get the length that time, although it came off Beckham, and Stam was rather distracted by Wes Brown's movement in front of him, has conceded a corner kick. Stefan Effenberg going to swing the ball into that Manchester United penalty area again, where both Babel and Kufor have taken that position. Schmeichel's lost it and found it. Just testing. He's very annoyed that Linker wouldn't allow him to throw the ball out quickly.
I think he's done him a favour there. It looks as if he's going to throw it into a danger area. Schmeichel.
Beckham with a flick on. Good control from Andy Cole. Stepped away from Yeremis, not from Babel. It's Scholes though. Now Beckham. Possibilities here. Terrific cross. Andy Cole with a header. Oh! Well, it's going to have a paint mark on it when it comes to rest. It was so close to the far post.
people will say that's a miss, but that's a super ball in, and as soon as Beckham shapes, you know where he's going, where the ball's going. Great run across the defender, a little nick, and he's probably thought when he's nodded it, that's a goal. Oh, he's desperately unlucky, Andy Cole. Funnily enough, since Yorkie's gone off, whether he's not aware of the fact that he hasn't got to link up with anybody now and he can go on his own a bit, he seems quite happy about that.
Bayern Munich have a couple of injury problems. You can see Salihamidzic down, and Alexander Zickler is already off the field receiving treatment. That's Zickler in the wards, and Salihamidzic is now down inside the centre circle. You know, Bayern's 3 successive European Cup wins in the mid-70s represented the prime of German club football. Only 3 Bundesliga teams won European trophies during the 80s. Only 4 continental successes so far in the 90s. They've got nobody left in the Cup Winners' Cup or the UEFA Cups. Even the German national team has been showing some signs of wear and tear. And as for the German finance minister...
I think the general feeling is that there isn't a great amount of good young players coming through in Germany. And that was very, very apparent, wasn't it, in the World Cup?
They to score incidentally from Greece. Arsenal, with a much depleted team, are actually leading tonight against Olympiacos. An own goal has put them in front. They can't qualify, but they are in front. Panathinaikos they're playing, sorry, with Olympiacos. Both Zickler and Salihamidzic are ready to resume. Who's for Salihamidzic, who has now joined Zickler back on the field. Cole. What a kick. I think he's had a good game tonight, Andy Cole.
And when he's on his own like he is now, he seems to have gone into that roving role a lot more. He's running the line a lot more.
Beckham short to Butt. Crossed in towards Keane. Yeramis trying to help it on its way. Keane will settle for the throw. Scholes. Stammer's still forward here. It's in towards Jan Stammer, dealt with by Marcus Babbel. Wes Brown. Throw in. Butt to Keane. Minutes remaining. Manchester United 1, Bayern Munich 1. It's a scoreline which, as things stand, will take Manchester United and indeed Bayern Munich into the quarter-finals. Remember, if United draw here this evening, they go through unless both Galatasaray and Rosenborg win, and both are losing at the moment. Galatasaray 1-0 in Bilbao, Rosenborg 2-0 in Turin against Juventus. Zickler in towards Elber, and Wes Brown just beat him to the punch. Not even a corner kick as it happens, it's gone for a throw.
Oh, it's a big header, that. Brilliant defending. I mean, that's a ball in, it's leaving them all for dead. He shapes up Elber, and Wes Brown just gets the nick on him.
I think those extra inches are one of the things which are just getting in the nod over Phil Neville in that position at the moment, particularly against a big side like Bayern. Lisa Azu, little flick on that time by Elber. Effenberg couldn't quite react. Wes Brown's there again with a header, and Manchester United have a free kick.
I tell you, it's only a small technical point, but that's 2 or 3 times on that. Well, it's not a long throw, but it's a medium throw, if you like. David Beckham's in a little bit of a false position. He should be near his own goal and make the throw the ball higher, Lizarazu. He's making it quite easy for Lizarazu to hit the target man with his throw.
United was sure there's a handball there. Keane under pressure from Struntz.
Yeah, he's enjoying that. Struntz. He's going in that midfield area, central midfield, just going and hounding people now.
He's back in the national side too, despite the fact that he had a huge fallout with Eric Riebeck, the national coach 6 years ago when he was in charge of Bayern. So much so that he was sold by Riebeck because they just couldn't get on.
You just get the impression, Clive, that you have To be a success in Germany, you have to have a fallout with somebody.
He must have been well pleased when Riebeck got the job, but in fact he's the man who's recalled him to the national team. But they do like a ruck.
And they are a good side. This is a far better side. I mean, they look nervous, they didn't look particularly fit or anything in Munich, but this is a good side.
Hitzfeld was used to 1 or 2 rows at Borussia Dortmund where Andy Muller and Matthias Sammer didn't get on either, and he has lent some discipline to this club, as evidenced by his decision to drop Mario Basler for this game. Basler had rows with Trapattoni last season and stayed in the team. Stubb. Beckham. This is Brown. Now Cole. Beckham. Good move this from Manchester United. Deep cross towards Giggs. Linker was there and Manchester United had to send him for the corner.
Yeah, that's good link play all the way through. All right, may not be one of Beckham's best crosses, but at least it's still gone into the danger zone. It's enabled him to build up pressure.
Beckham takes. Oh, it's Keane who was in there again. And it came off Yeramis, and it isn't on the corner. Difficult to tell just who got the last touch.
Yeah.
Referee's pretty certain.
We're not arguing.
Referee just holding up play to have a chat with Cole and Kuffour, having a little bit of fun. Exchanging early Christmas presents. Beckham. And there's a holding there again by Kuffour. And another corner.
I tell you what, the goalkeeper took an ever such a strange position there. He stood out almost in the middle of his 6-yard box, and I think that's what Andy Cole's trying to do. He's trying to block him off there. That's what Kuffour is sort of disputed. I mean, that's a strange position.
There is Khan.
He stood in the middle of the goal, and all of a sudden he goes back onto his line.
And the West Ham away strip. Beckham takes. Stam is there. Babel timed his jump better. Butler back in towards Jaap Stam. Minutes remaining. Skulls. Be a certain irony, wouldn't there, if Juventus, by beating Rosenborg tonight, helped Manchester United through. Not used to getting too many favours from Juventus.
I think that was a big advantage, Juventus knowing they were the last chance saloon tonight as well.
They could qualify, yeah, and they haven't won a game so far in the competition.
In fact, they haven't lost one either. In fact, I have to say, I was looking before the match to see what odds you get them winning the tournament.
Giggs. Would you believe it? The 4 favourites to win the competition before the ball was kicked tonight with Ladbrokes, none of them are reigning national champions. The defending European champions Real Madrid and 3 runners-up. Inter Milan, Bayern Munich and Manchester United. The Champions League. He was originally against admitting runners-up into the competition. He changed his tune in the summer. Jimmy Ryan looks drained after one night there. Latest score in another Champions League game tonight is now Panathinaikos 1, Arsenal 1. Highlights of that later tonight on ITV, and indeed a full roundup of all the matches and all the goals and what they mean and who is through.
I think over the closing quarter an hour as well, I think Fergie somehow or other got to get a message onto his players. Forget about anything else, anywhere, just focus on this. That's been his key word, focus, and never is it going to be more important than these closing stages. If minds start wondering about what is happening in Bilbao, what's happening here, there and everywhere, they could cause themselves a problem.
Salimidzic should cause the problem by scoring. Effenberg with a shot, and Schmeichel did well. That might just have been sneaking in. I think it was certainly heading for his goalpost.
It's a fine shot, very comfortable. I actually thought it was going wide, but full marks to Schmeichel. He didn't look to have any problems with it. Took it well.
Berg's another of these characters whose name appears as much on the front page as the back page in Germany. He's had a drink drive conviction quite recently, fined by the club and by the courts. But when he gets out of bed the right side, he can play.
Fergie's out there now. He's trying to get some information to Nicky Butt. I think he wants him playing closer to Roy Keane. I think he wants to get more of a solid base in his midfield. He's got his, if you like, his two most aggressive, competitive central midfield players together now.
It's so reassuring to have a manager who's been there, seen it, and done most of it at a moment like this when anxiety is bound to be a feature of the evening.
He's certainly told him to keep a lookout for Effenberg.
Alex Ferguson's 8th crack at the European Cup with Aberdeen and Manchester United, aiming to add his name to that list of Busby and Steen and Paisley and Clough and all the great managers of European Cup winning teams. Manchester United fans doing their best to urge their team forward, but they're nervous too.
You do get the distinct impression that somewhere now everybody else is thinking about what's happening elsewhere. That's just a feeling I've got.
Well, we are in the curious situation. I'm not suggesting for one moment that this is where we're heading, but both teams are going through at this moment at 1-1. But Bayern, it's guaranteed. With Manchester United, they need scorelines elsewhere to stay as they are. Strunz forward. Zickler in pursuit. Johnson in pursuit of him. He's done well again, Ronnie Johnson here. And they've only stepped that chance away in the opening couple of moments of the second half. Giggs against Linker. He's still in third gear, Ryan Giggs, but he's had an impression to make on the game, and he's played his part.
He's been a giant. Keane, he scored the goal, but his general play has been right up to the maximum.
Brown. Here is Keane. Beckham. Into Scholes. That's a clever turn by Paul Scholes. And he is a clever player. Finish wasn't too clever in the end, but he was just off balance. Bright mind.
Yeah, but the instinct, the turn, I mean, it's not the best ball he could have played in Beckham. He takes it off, he half rolls it, and that's what he's like. He's prepared to take a dip.
Latest score from Athens is now Panathinaikos 1, Arsenal 2. Nicholas Anelka has put Arsenal in front in that match, rather against the odds and expectation. Here comes the first, I think, of two changes, with Giovanni Elber, the Brazilian, being replaced by the big German striker Carsten Janka. And we're also going to see the reprieve for Mario Basler, the man dropped from the team for tonight's game. And he is going to replace Alexander Zickler. But we are talking about two German substitutes who are both in the current German national squad. Haven't seen Basler too much at the big tournaments. He picked up injuries during the '94 World Cup and Euro '96. He was injured before the last World Cup and didn't go. We missed the United game in September because of injury. And he does have a colourful pass, shall we say. Yeremis. But he is a good crosser of the ball. We might just see that here. Basler.
Yeah, particularly with Janka there, it's very important they don't allow him to produce too many balls from wide areas. It would also save a few anxious moments if United don't have to concede too many corners at the end as well.
Well, the word from the Munich camp today is that Basler may well be for sale if there's a manager out there who fancies locking horns with his personality. Here's Janka. And here is Basler feeding off the big centre forward. Ronnie Johnson, the defender. Bars the shot, blocked by Neville. Cleared by Johnson, straight low to Yaramis. Thomas Linker, back to Marcus Babbel. Gary Neville, just tall enough. But, Key. Stump. This is Neville. Stump. Beckham with a header on. This is Andy Cole. Just run away from him. Before did just enough. Oh, Cole has lost it. No, he's managed to recover. Cole had to try and do something with the ball as it went loose, and big catch Cole is conceding a free kick.
A good long ball. There's that tactic again. Beckham gets up above the little fullback, gets it into his run. Yeah, it's a legitimate challenge.
Can't none the worse for work. Foul awarded in Manchester United's favour against Sami Kufor. Alex Ferguson now is almost a constant presence on the touchline there.
Phil Neville's just actually told him to sit down. I only think he's passing the lines of his instructions.
Gary Neville with a free kick. Headed away by Linker. Headed forward by Johnson. Babbel away, only as far as Key. Beckham. Brown. Key. It's Brown again. Now it's Beckham again. Brown has gone on. Lizarazu is there. Humble. A little over 5 minutes remaining. Manchester United on the edge of a knife here. Giggs takes. Underway is by Babbel. Then by Lizarazu.
Just looking there, Fergie was passing information on where that free kick was going.
Beckham fouled by Lizarazu.
Free kick. He's passing information on Peter Schmeichel, and I'm sure he was saying we're okay if it stays like this.
That's the second yellow card in the competition for Vicente Lizarazu, who a Bayern Munich qualifier will miss first leg of the quarter-final. Incidentally, if both qualify, they cannot meet in the quarter-final. Manchester United have the free kick. Giggs. Deep towards Cole. Oh, poor header by Kufor, and Cole is there. Was he held back? The referee says no, goal kick. I do think that Kufor, having lost the ball, had a little grab at Andy Cole there.
Well, Kufor's certainly been a little bit anxious with a lot of his challenges in the box, and there's every reason to suggest he's had a little tug on him.
Oh, that's a foul.
Yes. The only thing in his favour, the ball has actually run onto Khan.
Alex Ferguson has passed messages on to Peter Schmeichel in the last minute or so, and Schmeichel has tried to get the message through to the players in front of him that as things stand, Manchester United are okay with a draw. They can't afford to lose the game though. He's probably had to explain it to his dad tonight, but just to reiterate, a draw for Manchester United, and both Galatasaray and Rosenborg would have to win to put them out, and both are losing at this moment. Galatasaray 1 down in Bilbao, Rosenborg 2 down to Juventus. Draw, of course, enough to take Bayern Munich through automatically. urgency amongst the supporters there is amongst some of the players, to be honest.
I think they're all very much aware now that what's going on in the other games.
Scholes used his arm. Referee happy for play to continue. Bayern Munich in possession. Bianco used his arm and caught Gary Neville. He didn't look at Neville. He had eyes only for the ball, but he caught him rather painfully. Rather surprisingly and rather amazingly, latest from Athens is Panathinaikos 1, Arsenal 3. Luis Bourmorto. It's a good reserve team they've got at Arsenal. Highlights of that match later tonight on ITV. Alex Ferguson will be hoping to have his feet up in front of the telly with his place in the quarterfinals booked. It's looking good. Salimidzic. Schmeichel a little straighter than he would have liked. Strunz. Effenberg. Free kick has gone Manchester United's way. Effenberg just caught Scholes. Last minute. Gary Neville. Beckham. Things stay the same, you know. The moments after the final whistle are going to be tenser than the rest of the game put together.
If the stairs there, they're going to see both teams do a lap of honour, aren't we, together?
Manchester United will need to know for sure that there have been no late goals where they don't want them. What they'd like here is a late goal for them. But trying to provide it. He was fouled by Strunz.
I think you can understand. I think you can sympathise with United now. There's a lot of free kicks. The game is everybody else's mind is focused elsewhere, and I think it's just important now United don't do anything daft.
3 minutes of added time will be played, just to keep you on your toes there. You've got any fingernails left. David Beckham. Away is by Yeremis for a corner. Babel rather got in his way. Nod of appreciating that.
I tell you what, we wouldn't have thought before a match that if this was all square with 3 minutes left, they'd be dawdling over to take a corner, the home side.
A bit of Anglo-German détente, I think, here. Beckham. Key. Brown. All the way back. I think we've got a field full of pro-Europeans at the moment.
I think I think the crowd must also sense from that the players know what's what.
Headed by Babel. On by Strunz. This is Butt. Effenberg. It is an extraordinary situation, this. We've still got 2 minutes of added time to play.
In all fairness, you can't blame United for this, can you? I mean, they've been swashbuckling to this point of the tournament. They've been cavalier, and to be fair, the opposition have as well tonight. Munich until the last stage is when they've got the information that they're safe.
20 goals they've scored in the competition, Manchester United. And it's that fantastic tally of goals that they've scored which could ultimately guide them through. One or two are not quite sure what's happening here in front of their eyes, but the men in control seem to know. Gary Neville will take the free kick. And this rather eerie conclusion at Old Trafford. Giggs into Cole. Away by Lizarazu. Schmeichel is under pressure, happy to get the ball out of play. We've now played 2.5 minutes of added time. Referee takes a long look at his watch. No doubt really what the outcome's going to be here. It's the outcome elsewhere that's going to decide Manchester United's fate. The fates seem to be working for them in Spain and in Italy in the matches which will affect them. The referee running towards the ball. Final whistle goes at Old Trafford. A huge roar goes up from the Bayern Munich supporters. Their players celebrate, and we hear Manchester United have taken their seat at Europe's top table too. They have qualified with a draw. The giant trophy is still within reach for Roy Keane and the team. The news will take some time to filter through, but both of these teams have survived the so-called group of death. And our Champions League quarter-finalists again, Manchester United for the third season running. It has been a thrill ride until tonight, a variety season of gala performances, more scores than a basketball match. Tonight it was more of a chess match in the end, but they've kept their nerve and they've kept their European Cup hopes alive with a draw here this evening. Final score at Old Trafford is Manchester United 1, Bayern Munich 1. It's a result which sends both teams into the quarter-finals.